So, talking about today's WNBA alerts for the upcoming games. Things are about to start. The games are about to start here and in the next couple hours or so. So figured I'd get this out now before it's too late for anybody looking for some plays on WA and WNBA to go for today. So here we got your Dreams versus the Suns to get under 157 points. A very straightforward one here. You'll be able to go find your Dreams versus the Suns to get under that says 157.5 points. We'll be looking under one. We got the closest we got is under 158.5 points. That's perfectly fine. I got to take my old ones off of here from the last video. If you didn't see the last video, you can go ahead and check that one out as well. I'll make these sports bets videos updates here daily. Make sure that you join in on the Discord to get the sports bets, sports bet alerts and whatnot in time. Okay, so you got Atlanta versus the Dream with a 10.5 spread. Atlanta versus Dream. That one's probably already. Oh, we are right here. Atlanta, what that say? Oh, Dreams versus Sun. With a 10.5 spread. Is that a positive or a negative? For a negative 10.5 spread, I'm betting two plays on this game. We're not diving into the deeper wagers here on this one. And now you got the Los Angeles Sparks for a negative 2.5 spread. Los Angeles Sparks, you add that on. Notice how we added these in your card changes from a two bet parlay to a three bet parlay. I'm gonna show you how you add in singles, how you change them as singles here right towards the end of this. And here you have your Sparks versus the Wings for over 171.5 points. Sparks versus the Wings for over, it says over 171, but the closest we get is over 173.5. That's perfectly fine. Notice how now this is a four bet parlay. Still time to catch the recent alerts for your MLBs. Those are those right there. I did make a video showing those and talking about those different players and stats and stuff like that along in that one. Like I said, I make these updates every day, so get subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on anything. Now that we have that place, what you would like to do is you can go ahead and just bet on the whole thing as a whole if you would like to. And of course, if it all hit, that's a $61,000 payout. Now, you don't have to use such big amounts. I believe most all platforms should have a minimum. I believe that minimum on most platforms is about $5 to $10. Now you can still bet on your whole parlay just like that, which is a decent payout, but maybe you feel more comfortable going down to change it to singles because maybe you're not too sure about some of those different teams, or maybe you. And I'm going to show you how you can be more sure about your bets and other stuff like that here in just 1 second. But let's say you feel more confident in your Atlanta Dreams versus the Connecticut Suns spread negative 10.5 spread. So maybe you feel most confident on that. So maybe you try to just add on whatever amount you add, and remember you can add in whatever. Don't use any more amount than you don't feel comfortable with. I recommend you have an actual for whatever type of betting, trading, or investing you're doing. I recommend you have a separate wallet or separate account or something like that for that, so it don't you don't interfere with any of the extra money you have, and you don't end up feeling the greed to put in more than you're supposed to be, and so on and so forth. Maybe even somehow only allow that account to release certain amounts for you to be able to bet every day. Whatever it takes to make sure you're most coordinated, man. And now, same thing on the Atlanta Dreams versus the Connecticut Suns to get under 158.5 points. Pretty straightforward. That's the total of both of those two teams together, not just one team. As you've seen, I went over here and I picked it under here. Might make you think we're looking at just that one team to get that. We're looking at the whole overall total of them to get that, which is still a pretty straightforward bet. You add that on, and like I say, we down here on the singles now. That way, if one of them might not hit, one of them they might not get over 173 points total for the Sparks versus the Wings. Don't be no telling what happens sometimes. So you probably be most comfortable with changing up your bets that way, or just leave it all on parlays if you believe they all just finna just hit whatever you got going on. That's how you place your WNBA bets. And I know a lot of people might be newer to betting or whatever they got going on. And so sometimes it's hard to figure out how to learn and study that information, right? So what I do is this. I go to, not only do I look up that stuff along in your banking with Billy search engines, and you can see all those different things in order for everything that's been going on. But I also like to use my chat GPT over here. You could use any chat GPT, whether it's on your phone, maybe you got one of those Alexa bots or whatever they be having, go ahead and just ask it, paste it up in there, and you just be able to simply say, explain this bet, the odds, and the stats. And simply just like that, you can get all your information, which I'll tell you some about some of these teams here. The under 157.5 total points with a negative 105 bet means you're wagering that the combined score of both teams' game will be 157 points or fewer. If the final score adds up to 158 points or more, then the bet loses. So the bet breakdown, your odds, the negative 105 odds, you need to bet $105 to win $100 if the total stays under 157.5 points, that is. Now, in the recent trends, the Dreams games averaged 161 points last season, 3.5 points higher than this total. And the Suns averaged 157.4 points, almost identical to this total. The Dreams went under 157.5 points in the 19 of 42 games last season, while the Suns went under 20 of 47 games. The team stats: Atlanta Dreams 2 out of 2, um, scoring 777 ppg, slightly below the league average. They defense allows 79.8 for ppg, and key players Alicia Gray 27 points last game. The Connecticut Suns with 0-3, scoring 80.1 ppg. Defense allows 73.6 ppg. This is a strong defensive team, and the key players are Marina Mabry with 22 points in the last game. Here are your bet insights. So the Suns' defense is solid, keeping opponents under 74 ppg. On average, the Dreams' offense is consistent, making the under a strong play if Connecticut controls the pace. And historical matchups suggest a tight defensive battle favoring the under. And of course, keep in mind that they can still go over. Even if it goes over 1 point, then that's still a loss. So you're betting on that one, of course. We already got that up here. For them to go under. That's an easy way for you to find your different stats and information. We're not gonna go through all of these right now. I gotta get to some other things, but I recommend you could pick just one of those. Whatever platform you're using, comment down below. So I can know, and maybe we'll start making some videos using those other platforms and stuff like that as well. If you want one of these games live streamed because you don't got ESPN or whatever you need, then let me know and I can turn those live streams on. I'll see you guys in the next one there. Happy trading.